Welcome back to SJ at Noon. Rory McGoran and the Noogs with you, and very happy to welcome in our guest for today's show, brought to you by Super U Player Profile. It's the Flin Flon Bombers goaltender, Cal Schell. Cal, thanks for joining us. How are things going up in Flin Flon?
Yeah, they're going great. Coming off a big weekend, so hope to keep it rolling here through the week.
Dude, an absolute huge weekend for yourself. It's where I want to start off. Your sixth shutout of the season over the Battleford's North Stars. It actually tied a Flin Flon Bombers record since they returned to the SJHL. Zach Robideau with 6 shutouts already on the season. You tie that, you still got a little bit of time left to try to break it as well. What does it mean to you when you hear that, you've tied a record for the Flin Flon Bombers, which is already such a historic program, but now your name has that shutout record this year?
I mean, yeah, it's crazy to think that you're up there on a list with some really good goalies over the years. So hopefully we can kind of close out the year, maybe go for number 7, who knows? But I'm very honored, to have my name up there in a very good organization.
And the season you've been having has been, it's been elite. It's among the best in the SJHL this year, hands down. What have you kind of been able to do leading into your 20-year-old season to set yourself up for success? Of course, the Flin Flon Bombers are really united as a team this year. There's great product on the ice, but just specifically yourself, it wasn't an easy situation coming out of what last year was. So how have you kind of been able just to, project yourself towards the success you've been having this year?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of question marks, I think, between even myself and, everyone else, whether I was going to be able to come in and start consistently, since I haven't really been able to do that yet in my career. But I think once, I kind of got the ball rolling and started to get my feet under me, I really started to feel confident and know that I can be the guy and, I can start games. So, yeah, I mean, it's more of just a confidence thing that I've just kind of built up throughout the season, and it's helped me be a lot more successful. So, yeah.
Yeah, Cal, thanks for joining us. Got to get this out of the way. Steve Hodson, our mutual old buddy, Pokeroo, we called him back. I'll give you a shout out. He would crucify me if I didn't give him a shout out. So get that out of the way. Cal, I got to ask you, obviously in the rush last year, lots of Canadian kids weren't playing. American leagues were playing. You got an opportunity to play down in Atlanta in the USPHL. Tell me about what that experience was like and how much that helped you to get a few more games in, a playoff game in coming into this year, maybe versus some other goalies and some other players in this league, even though obviously we're deep in the league. How much did that help you?
Yeah, I think it definitely helped a lot. Like, to be able to go down in that January, February, March time and be able to get some games in, it definitely split it up, instead of just playing at way before Christmas, November, and then not again till next September. So yeah, like I really enjoyed it. Like it was awesome down there. So yeah, I definitely think it helped for this year.
Yeah, very cool. And then, you come into this year and I think a man on a mission. And I asked Matt Pizzenti when he was on the Kindersley Clippers goalie. And obviously there's some phenomenal 20-year-old goalies, Brace Ramsey and Pizzenti and et cetera, et cetera. Where do you feel like you fit in that? Do you feel, obviously I'm going to ask, we're going to talk, Rory and I talked about this on the show earlier, but, do you feel maybe you get a little overshadowed by, all the records and whatever that Race Ramsey is putting up, even though you've had a spectacular year that arguably is just as good?
I mean, it's, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to keep level-headed and keep focused. I mean, I see what he's doing over there, and it's amazing. He's playing tons of games and getting lots of wins, which, I mean, it's every guy's dream, really, throughout junior. So, I mean, I feel like I get just enough, respect out of the league. Like, it's nice to feel talked about, about your accomplishments, but at the same time, I gotta keep doing my thing and keep grinding. So
love to hear it, Cal. Love to hear it.
Well, yeah, without a doubt, we were having you on the show this year for sure with the season you've been having. Speaking of the Broncos as well, I want to go back 2 years ago to the last playoff game that you guys played there in 1920 against the Humboldt Broncos. You were in net. You closed out the series in a sweep, stopping 44 of 45 shots. What do you remember about that game? And reflecting on it now, kind of getting so close to the playoffs, like do you go back to that moment knowing kind of what it's like and what it takes now that you're heading back into the playoffs as the starting netminder with the Bombers this year?
Yeah. I think about that game every day. Like that was one of the most intense, probably my favorite game I ever played. We had 4D and one of them was a forward, I believe, that game.
That's right.
I think maybe 10 forwards. We had a fight early on too. So we were super underbodied, and I think that was one of those games where we were okay going home to game 5 and taking them there, but at the same time, we just gutted it out, and yeah, we ended up sweeping the series, which I think was huge for us. That would have definitely helped moving forward in that playoff run.
Yeah, it was one of the greatest games I've seen by a goaltender in my broadcasting career for yourself. Back then, it was a bit of a timeshare as well with yourself and Jake Delorme. Clearly, it's your net right now. I mean, you talked about that opportunity. You talked that you want to relish the opportunity. Is this now what you've been waiting to showcase throughout the year and the opportunity you've been waiting for? And, just how excited are you to kind of get that role? Because the Bombers are, a potent team heading into the playoffs, third place in the SJHL right now. And I can't imagine for yourself now, final year, having the start, how exciting it is for you to get those games and know it's your net.
Yeah. I mean, playoffs is a big stage, and, we got to come and perform. I got to do my part. I got to go out there and do what I can, help the team win, and I know those guys will have my back. So yeah, it's all about showing up. So
yeah, for sure. And Cal, you've certainly shown up this year, and talk about people paying attention and getting noticed. Direct West commit to SUNY Oswego D3, and big time congratulations to you. Talk about the process of settling there. I know a lot of OJHLers from where you and I are from in Southern Ontario go there a lot, and obviously it's not too far from your home, which is great. But talk about wanting to go to Oswego. What was the clincher to bring you there?
Yeah, I mean, my sister's currently there right now. She's in her freshman year playing hockey, so obviously my family, I knew about the school quite a bit, but they ended up just reaching out and saying, hey, like what you've been doing, want to watch. So I ended up getting to go down at Christmas when we were dropping off my sister and take a visit. And I loved it. Like, I was blown away by their facilities, and I know the school there's pretty good as well. So it was one of those things where it's checks off all the boxes for me. And I think I was just ready to, commit and let that be that, so I can just focus on the rest of the year.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't know your sister was actually going to the same school. How pumped are your family, your parents, that they can go to the same place and watch their son and their daughter and not have to go different parts of the country or two different colleges, but right there at Oswego?
Oh yeah, no, they're definitely pumped. Like, they were pretty excited when I said I wanted to go to Oswego, and that's where I went the next 4 years. So definitely going to save them a bit of gas money.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Again, huge congratulations from all of us. I'm very happy for you. Back to the present, and I know Race Ramsey and Humboldt, he would say the same thing, and the list goes down with the great goalies, Michael Harash in this league, etc. Obviously goalies are pretty exposed without great decors in front of them, and beginning of the year preseason, I kind of wrote an article, and Mike Reagan, your coach, was like, Nugs, you're got a way off. Like, where our defense and our goaltending is fantastic, and we'll find a way to score. I was like, oh, they're gonna score lots of goals, and I guess it's all kind of come together, so no problem in the end. But kind of had a chuckle about it recently. But just talk about this decor that you play behind. Obviously Xavier Lapointe, D1 committed. Go down the list, obviously Vardy and Richmond, and there's so many different elements, and Corey King and Thiessen, the WHL guys. It's a very varied and interesting decor to play behind. How comfortable are you behind those experienced guys?
Oh, they make it so easy. Is as good as they are offensively, they're good defensively. Like guys like Lucas Fry, Cole Tanchuk, those two guys are absolute glue guns out there. Like they know how to go to the tough areas, and they're very hard to play against, which it makes it easy on me when guys aren't getting clean entries or anything like that. So I'm very appreciative of the decor we got this year.
Well, I mean, Nugsy said it. He wrote the article pre-season and rustled the feathers of Mike Reagan. He's doing it all year long. He constantly does that. But we know what kind of coach he is there at Flin Flon and what kind of season you're having in Flin Flon. Cal, thanks so much for joining us. Wish you nothing but success this year heading into the playoffs, and then, of course, throughout your career there at Oswego.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
There was Cal Schell, goaltender of the Flin Flon Bombers, with their Super U player profile. We'll be back, and we'll have a little all-star game format coming up, all-star skills competition with our selections of the SJHL next on SJ at Noon.